I'm Tim Brady, and I'm here to tell you about this new amazing recording we've just made with Symphony Nova Scotia. Now, it's 2015, so is this going to be a CD? Is it iTunes? Is it YouTube? Is it Pono Music? Is it FLAC? Is it high-res? Is it low-res? Is it cassette? Is it vinyl? Is it 8-track? You know, I haven't the vaguest idea. It'll probably be available on every format you can imagine. The main thing is, Symphony Nova Scotia is one of the best orchestras I've ever worked with, and I'm really, really happy to be able to present to you 3 of my major orchestral pieces from the past 5 years in this project. The CD, let's call it a CD for the moment, will include my violin concerto in an amazing performance by Robert Uchida, my viola concerto, equally well performed by violist Jutta Puchhammer, and the premiere of my 4th symphony. The first piece on the CD is Requiem 21.5, my violin concerto. In 2009, I was working with the Orchestre Symphonique de Laval, and they asked me to write a short piece for violin and string orchestra. And I wrote this 10-minute piece, and I gave it to the conductor, and he said to me, "Tim, you realize this is not a short piece for violin and orchestra. This is the beginning of a violin concerto." Quite frankly, at the time, I didn't know that. I said, well, okay, I'll think about it. So a few months later, I was working with Symphony Nova Scotia here in Halifax, Canada. And they said to me, "Tim, do you have any orchestral pieces that you're working on?" And I said, well, I'm halfway through a violin concerto. Would that be of interest? And they said, absolutely. Our concertmaster, Robert Uchida, loves violin concertos. He eats them for breakfast. 2012, we premiered the violin concerto. And knowing the strength of Symphony Nova Scotia and the soloist, Robert Uchida, we put up some microphones just in case. We weren't planning on making a commercial recording. We weren't planning on doing a CD. But these people play so well, you want to make sure you have a document. Lo and behold, on that night, they played absolutely perfectly. It was a dream performance. The next day, we sat down and said, okay, we're halfway through a CD. Let's move forward on this. And that's how this whole recording project came about. The other big piece on this CD is my Symphony No. 4 for orchestra. Now, I never planned to write a bunch of symphonies. I stumbled into this whole idea of writing a bunch of symphonies. Symphony No. 1 is for electric guitar, sampler, and 15 musicians. Symphony No. 2 is for orchestra and saxophone quartet. Symphony No. 3 is for electric piano, acoustic piano, 9 other musicians, and 20 voices. I'm all over the map. And in fact, Symphony No. 5 is already done. It's for 4 electric guitars. So how do I get around to Symphony No. 4 for a traditional orchestra? Well, it's actually fairly simple. Symphony Nova Scotia is a symphony orchestra. So when they asked me to write a big piece for them, I was going to write a piece for symphony orchestra. And fundamentally, Symphony No. 4 is kind of my love letter to Symphony Nova Scotia. They are such a great orchestra. Working with their conductor, Bernhard Guler, and with all the musicians is always such immense pleasure that I wanted to write a big orchestral piece where I could make that symphony sound their best. The idea behind this symphony was very simple. I want to write a big, great orchestral piece for a great orchestra. But I didn't want to write a traditional symphony. Traditional symphony has 4 movements, Beethoven, Mozart, Haydn, you know, the whole gang. I wanted to do something different. So I wrote a symphony in 1 large movement, which lasts 21 minutes. I wanted to write a piece that was going to be a big, meaty orchestral piece. A piece where the orchestral players could really dig in and play the way a full symphony orchestra can play. So, what happened the night of the premiere of my 4th symphony? I can tell you. Symphony Nova Scotia brought all the emotion, clarity, focus, intensity, and precision that an orchestra needs to bring to create a truly amazing performance. My favorite string instrument is the viola. Now, why is my favorite string instrument the viola? Frankly, I haven't the vaguest idea. I've just accepted it. I love the viola. So in 2010, when the Orchestre Symphonique de Laval asked me to write a new concerto, they said, "What instrument do you want to write for, Tim?" And I instantly said, I need to write a viola concerto. The viola is an instrument with tons of character, different ways of playing, different sounds, different expression. So I really created 4 sections, some very mysterious, some very lyrical, some very rhythmic, some very aggressive, so that I could really explore every aspect of the viola. Jutta Puchhammer The violist for whom the concerto was written is an amazing performer and gives a stunning performance. She premiered the work with the Orchestre Symphonique de Laval in 2013. A few years later, we were very fortunate to be able to bring her down here to Halifax to perform the work with Symphony Nova Scotia. And that's the live performance you're going to hear on this CD. What you hear on this CD are all live performances. No editing, no overdubbing. What you hear is what we all heard in the hall that night, what the orchestra played, what I heard, what the public heard. This is the type of amazing experience that Symphony Nova Scotia gives to people here in Halifax every week. They're an amazing orchestra. They play my piece amazingly well, and that's why we want to bring this CD to you so you can share that experience with us.